Hey everybody. So last night, Joe Biden, maybe you've heard about this. He dropped out of the presidential race, and Kamala Harris is more than likely to be the next candidate running for the office of the presidency. If that's the first time you're hearing about this, then maybe go look that up, avail yourself of the present information, etc. Anyway, I was tweeting last night about it. I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling electrified. I was just ready to vote for Cammie, and I had a good time and tweeted some really fun stuff. So I just wanted to share an interaction that I had with you. So, okay, this is all about James Lindsay. James Lindsay is a kind of famous guy, actually. Like, he was big in the anti-CRT movement, critical race theory movement. He has 500,000 followers on Twitter. He's supposed to be like a smart guy, conservative thinker, or at least he was. I really don't know what he's up to these days. James Lindsay tweets out the following: "Let's talk about Kamala Harris saying to see what can be unburdened by what has been. This phrase, which she repeats all the time, is not mysterious. It's esoteric. That is, it's occult. It's a Marxist and Luciferian incantation, and that's easily seen." So this is actually the first tweet of a very, very long thread that I'm not going to get into, where he makes an extremely simple argument and draws it out over the course of what feels like hours. Basically, James has one point and one point alone, which is that Marx and I guess Lucifer also want us to see what the world can be unburdened by what has been and what is. So Kamala's like them in that way. So I think the problem with this argument kind of speaks for itself, right? Yes, Karl Marx wanted to change the world and see what the world could be and not just sort of attend to the way it was. He believed in a future that's better than the world as it is, and he wanted to buck some traditions. And maybe Lucifer also wanted that. But here's the problem. So did a whole lot of people. Thomas Jefferson and George Washington both had aspirations to change the world. They had a vision for what the world could be that wasn't beholden to how it was. Steve Jobs, the Apple guy, Jesus Christ, you could argue that he saw a world filled with sin and horrible mistreatment of people, and he wanted to build a new life for people, a utopia where people care about each other and are compassionate to each other. So there's actually something that arguably Marx and Jesus Christ and Lucifer, I guess, have in common. He also thinks that she's making a satanic gesture with her hand. Like, he literally believes she's a Satanist. He's not just saying that she's like metaphorically a Satanist. He thinks that she's doing Satan stuff. So I really don't know what's going on. If he thinks she's literally Satanist, I don't even know why he said the other stuff. Anyway, this tweet made me smile and made me laugh, and so I tweeted about it. Guys, Republicans went from saying that Biden is old as shit to saying whatever this is. I think we really got a shot here. My point was, they're just making up nonsense. They don't have anything on Kamala Harris. It's looking pretty good. And anyway, this is where the story heats up. James Lindsay quote tweets my tweet and says, "Leftists mock things. They don't want left-leaning people to take seriously." And honestly, I find this tweet even more deranged than the Kamala Harris Satanist tweet. James Lindsay earnestly believes that without the interference of, mockers like me, that the left-leaning public would be like, oh, I guess she could be a Luciferian Satanist type. Normally they'd be reading this tweet like, oh, that's a really interesting take. Like, I'm interested, go on. But because of annoying fucks like me, the left-leaning public will never learn the truth. So I respond something like that, I gave him a little ratio, I made a little fun of him. James Lindsay tweets, hours later, obviously about me. Nobody else has mocked anything. Obviously still about me. It's really funny that the left still thinks it has the cultural cash to mock something and get people to feel ashamed. It's just confirmation we've exposed them now. No one takes them seriously anymore. Of course we're not the target of their mockery, we're foils to it. The purpose of leftist mockery is most clearly seen after it loses the social cash necessary to shame or humiliate normal people. Is James Lindsay the normal person in this tweet? It's to shame and humiliate leftist cult members to keep them from defecting. This was Jon Stewart's job, but during the front-loading phase. So just to put a capstone on this little story, James Lindsay, a man with 500,000 followers on Twitter, a man who's, I think, been on PragerU and done serious interviews, earnestly believes that the leftist cult public would have become enlightened to the truth of Kamala Harris's Luciferian Satanism, if not for me. I replied to him again, and the conversation ended. I'm gonna release this video on Little Joel, whether it fucking is entertaining or not.